Okay, let's talk about solo construction. One of the things that I've been asked quite a lot is how to make a structured solo. A lot of people say they play a bunch of notes, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. They want to be able to play something that starts, has a middle, and has a finish. Well, we can achieve this by using some of the techniques we've talked about so far. When we used our phrasing concept, when we were playing in the key of B, we played a phrase and repeated it and then repeated it somewhere else. This can be a good way for an opening motif to a solo. Very important for a solo to have a good start. So we try and get a really good phrase when we start playing. One of the things we also talked about earlier was connecting licks. So one thing we can do is possibly play a run over bar 4 or possibly bars 3 and 4 into the D chord. When we arrive at the D chord, we can possibly play our phrasing idea again, but maybe change the phrase slightly from when we started to something else, or possibly pick a new phrase and play it twice. Once in one way and then the second way slightly different. Moving up to the E chord, it's a good idea to hit a note that's from that chord. So we said that we were going to play a run over, say, bar 4. To the D. So when we come up to the E chord in our blues, let's go and make sure that we play the root. So the listener can hear we've gone to it. Then play the root of the D chord. Then back to A. And possibly another small run to finish off. You notice I hit an E note there just to finish off because E is in the last bar of the blues. Okay, so I'm going to play an unaccompanied solo and let's see if we can make it make some sense. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I played a 12-bar blues there. It had a phrase to start, which I built upon. I played a run into the D chord, which I also used a phrase and built upon. Then I used the root of the E chord to establish that that had arrived, the root of the D chord to establish that that had arrived, and I played back to the A and a short run to bring me back to the E chord. So what I'd like to do now is use the same idea and just play a solo that I'm going to just improvise using these techniques to give you an idea of solo construction. What I'm going to do when I play the first part of the solo is make sure that I don't play very much at all. I'm going to keep it very, very simple. Very important not to give all your best licks away in the first bar. You know, especially if you're going to be playing around 3 or 4 times or twice around the sequence. If you're going to play twice, possibly you want to heat up towards the end of the first one and then maybe bring out a few more of your licks in the second one. But the most important thing is to pace what you've got and use it well. So I'm going to start off quite simple and then build up as I go along. So let's go on to the backing track. It's going to be the same one that I started the video with and use these solo construction ideas and see if we can put everything together and make some sense with it. Okay, here we go. So looking at our solo construction there, I hope you noticed that I started off in the first position, kept the lines very, very simple, played the root of the E chord with the E, root of the D chord with the D, and tried to make a logical progression through the solo. Second time around the progression, I moved into the second position, started using some of the bends that we talked about earlier, the phrasing that we talked about earlier, finally moving up and up, leaving myself, you know, the real high stuff and the real, you know, sort of emotional stuff that you can get from the real big bends up the top for later on in the solo. So I was trying to leave myself somewhere to go every time I finished. Well, I hope you've got something out of the video. Please have fun with all the material. Feel free to wind back and go over it as many times as you feel you need to. I'm going to play out with the backing track now, and don't forget, the backing tracks that you've been hearing today are from the Blues Jam session 1 and 2, both available from Total Accuracy, and have fun.